Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode of the harvest season. My name is Al.
And my name is Cody.
And we're here today to talk about cottagecore games. Woo!
Woo!
Woo! Cody, it's been a while.
It sure has. I went to Costa Rica and back.
Woo!
You guys almost lost me because I almost stepped on the most venomous snake in Costa Rica.
Well, I mean, you know, a snake isn't an insect, so, you know.
It's not. But it's like in the very first day, they were like, this is the ultimate pit viper. If you get bit by one, you need to go to a hospital immediately, and you still might lose your limb.
Oh, no.
And they had all these things. And then literally the next day I'm walking on a trail, and I'm from Pennsylvania. Or I'm not from Pennsylvania, but I'm in Pennsylvania. There's lots of rattlesnakes here. So I'm used to, you're walking on a trail, you still look down. You don't look around you, you look down. And almost set my foot down, and I was like, oh, that's a snake. She was very well camouflaged. She was Eepin. She remained Eepin. But I told people, I was like, hey, don't go that way. There's a terciopelo or, what is the other? Fertilance. And people, of course, were like, oh, I want to see it. And then came over. So then I stood there and was basically like a bouncer for this snake. And then we all left her alone.
This is why I don't travel very much. I just don't. We just like Scotland, pretty safe place. We don't really. Technically, we have one venomous snake, but it's like the sort of venomous that you're gonna have an itchy leg for a while. Like that's about it.
No, this one's not good, and we were pretty far away from a hospital.
Yeah, no, I'm alright.
It was fun though.
In fact, like I think I've only ever seen a snake in the wild like once ever. Because they're just like they exist here, but they don't really exist.
Yeah.
So anyway,
so I'm back.
I'm glad you're not dead.
If anyone has any questions about Costa Rica, let me know in the Slack. Got to be a member of the Slack. Got to be a Patreon subscriber. Patreon.com/GHSpod. But we're not here to talk about that. What are we here to talk about today, Al?
This episode, we are kind of going to talk about the Coral Island 1.1 update.
Kind of.
They'll understand why soon. There's a whole thing. We're going to talk about that. Before that, we have some game news. A decent chunk of game news. It's gotten busy again, and it's not all game delays, but we have hit that period and we have hit that time in the year where there's lots of games getting delayed till next year.
Getting to be mostly game delays, but not all.
Yeah.
Maybe like half game delays right now.
It wasn't.
Next episode
It's not.
Will be more.
This is not even half. It's not even half. There's only 3 game delays this episode.
For now. But literally the second after we record this, you're going to hit.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to hit the
for sure.
And then there are going to be 2 more.
For
100%.
Sure. I mean, we currently still have... okay, like 30. We still have 30 games that are meant to be coming out this year. And it is halfway through September. So there's going to be a lot more delays. It's my favorite time of the year, game delay season. Yeah, cool. So we've got some news, but first of all, Cody, what have you been up to other than trying to die in Costa Rica?
Unsuccessfully dying in Costa Rica. And then just a lot of research stuff. And I was in Costa Rica to do fly school, learn about flies, learn how to identify them. So I've been like super jazzed about getting through my specimens, which is great. Also just did the Great Insect Fair, which is Penn State's big outreach event. We had about 3,000 people from across the state come and visit and learn about insects. And that was super cool. But when I wasn't crippled by stress about the Great Insect Fair, I was playing Coral Island, of course. I dove back into this game with both feet. Not deep enough, but we'll get to that. Also, Disney Dreamlight Valley, I still play it every day. I'm trying to get all the critters, and whether or not they show up each day is a, toss-up. So I log on every morning, and I check and see, like, are they here? I think I still have 2 of the crocodiles that I want, and then 1 fox that I don't have. But I have befriended all of the other critters. I'm also just like 100%ing everything in that game, so I'm trying to get all the achievements. So I give it maybe like 20 to 30 minutes a day. And then My best friend Devin and I have moved on from Minecraft for now. We've just tabled it. And we're playing Call of the Wild, The Angler. So it's a very... it is Farmville fishing. Sorry, not Farmville. Farming simulator fishing. It's like that quality, but fish. Where it's like really detailed about, do you have a float set up? Do you have a spinner set up? Do you have what kind of setup do you have? What kind of rod do you have? It's pretty intense.
That looks like a game I do not want to play.
It's nice because it's also very open world. So there's like a bunch of different maps that you can go to, and part of it you just like explore the world, and you also find you tell the people like when you see the invasive bark beetle or the invasive purple loosestrife, which is an invasive plant that often takes over like around ponds. So you find these things, and it's really cool because a lot of it is legit. Like they had told me about oxeye daisy and been like, be on the lookout for oxeye daisy. And then I was like, this plant is glowing and this is an oxeye daisy. This looks like a loosestrife. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it is. So it's just another thing that I can turn on, play for like 5 minutes, and then turn off if I don't want to play it anymore. The problem with Coral Island and games like it is I start a day and then I'm like committed to that day. And then after the day...
Yeah,
like,
but the games aren't very long.
Oh, I can make those days last, man. I think I've also... Isn't this one of the games you can like make the days go slower? I think that's
Maybe.
one of the accessibility things.
I mean, Coral Island is a yes, we will do everything that you suggest type of game.
So I think I've done that
probably. Because
that was one of my issues with Stardew. Is I was like, you blink and the day's over. But
oh no, I like the shortness because then it's like bam, done.
No,
I put it away.
I need to be able to do everything.
But you've got another day. See, this is how I'm 4 years into the game,
and
you're not even 1 year into the game.
It's true. The FOMO is so hard. Like I finally did the thing where you like write down what you need to do for like the basically community center, but it's the lake temple. Like I wrote it down in a notebook that I have in front of me at all times. And I wrote down like when you find all of the things. So I'm like, and I didn't do this until fall. So now I'm like, look at all these fish that are spring and summer that I didn't get because I didn't know that they were evening fish in the river forest.
The fish is the thing I don't have the most. And, oh my word. We'll get to that later in the episode.
What have you been up to?
This, just before I do, I was reading reviews on Call of the Wild, The Angler.
Yep.
Because the reviews are, shall we say, mixed. There are lots of people really like it, but here's a fantastic review. 4.1 hours on record, not recommended. Posted 4th of September. Somehow they managed to capture the true essence of real-life fishing in this game. Boring as hell? Check. Managing gear is tedious as hell? Check. You can spend hours fishing and catch nothing? Check. The only thing they failed to capture was what a chore it is to clean the fish/gear at the end of the day. But I shouldn't give the devs any ideas.
Correct. So if you like fishing, I'm sure you'd love this game. Because then you don't have to clean it either. But yeah, it is tedious. It is the tedium of like having to pick, like, you want a rainbow trout, you have to make sure that you have the right bait, the right gear, you have to go to the right place, you have to do all this stuff the right way, and then you still might not have a fish come out at all.
I mean, I will agree, that sounds like not fun. It does not sound like something that I would want to have anything to do with, but it's a fishing sim.
Yeah. What did you expect?
If you don't like fishing, maybe don't play a fishing sim. Yep. Like, it's not like something like it's trying to be different and trying to be it's trying to be realistic.
Yep.
Right? Like, don't play a realistic fishing sim if you don't like fishing.
Yep. It was funny because after playing it, and Jeff watched me play it a little bit, we were near a Bass Pro Shop, which is like it's like a Cabela's or a big like hunting store, but but mostly just for fish. Well, I guess they had guns as well. And we went in there to just walk around.
Of course, it's America. Of course you would.
Yeah. And we went in and walked around, and then someone tried to sell us a vacation, and we were like, "Oh, we're done."
I do enjoy how you mention like a fishing shop, which I was like, okay, a shop that has everything you need to do fishing, fair enough.
Yep.
And then you try and explain it by saying it's like a hunting shop, but for fish. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen a hunting shop.
Yeah. Well, so I started explaining like, oh, it's like a Cabela's, and then I was like, I bet Al does not
I don't know what that is either.
what a Cabela's is.
Like, I'm pretty sure shop that sells you fishing gear, pretty self-explanatory. I know what that would mean.
But it does also have a hunting area, and like you can make bait traps for your deer to like bait deer into your property. Like scent for deer. Like there's more than just that. Yeah.
Classic fish.
Murica. Anyway.
And also guns.
What have you been?
What have I been up to? I have been playing Astrobot.
You have to explain to me.
So, are you not aware of what Astrobot is?
I am not aware.
So, needs a little bit of background here.
Okay.
So, Astrobot is a PlayStation character, and I think his first game was Astro's Playroom, which was a free game that came with the PS5 and was basically like a tech demo of like all the things that the new controller could do.
Okay.
And it was super fun. And it's like he's this little cute robot, and the idea was you've got these little levels where you're going around and you're basically rescuing old Sony PlayStation stuff. So you're like getting a PlayStation 1, and then you're getting like accessories for it. You're getting the original controller, and then you get a PS2 and you get accessories for, and it's like you end up building out this really nice...
Grabbing those memory cards that you had to grab.
Yeah, exactly. Loads of things like that, and you're basically building out this museum.
Okay. And
it was super fun. So they've built onto that and made a bigger game that they could actually sell called Astrobot. And so it's, basically it's like, the way I would describe it is if Sony decided to make a 3D Mario game. That's basically what it is.
Okay.
So it's super fun. I'm not very far through it because it came out a week ago, and I've not had a huge amount of time. So I'm through a few levels and stuff. But yeah, I'm enjoying myself. It has the same fun whimsy of Astro's Playroom. It has the really nice controls of a good Mario game. It has the kind of unique mechanics that Mario Wonder had, where lots of different levels have like one specific thing that does in that level. Okay. Less kind of like trippy and more just like a mechanic type thing, like, oh, sometimes you have monkey arms and you use them for climbing, and sometimes you know, the standard kind of Mario stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's super fun. And I don't know if it's meant to be, I don't know if it's going to be as nostalgic as the other one, but it feels like it's trying to do a similar sort of thing, in that your ship that you're trying to rebuild is a PS5. And there's a few things that I've kind of found that they're not hardware stuff, they're like game-based stuff this time. So like you're rescuing little robots like Astrobot, and some of them are in costumes. So I found the Crash Bandicoot one, and I found the Spyro one, and stuff like that. So I think it's more going for the nostalgia of the games this time, which, I mean, makes sense.
Nostalgia machine activated.
I was wrong. They did have another Astrobot game before Astro's Playroom, and that was a PlayStation VR game for the PS4 in 2018.
So still showing off new technology.
Yes, yeah. So I guess that's kind of the same thing. But yeah, it does really fun stuff with the controller, and it's enjoyable to play, and you know, it's a game for me to actually play on my PS5.
To justify that expense.
There's like 20 PS5 exclusive games, and half of them are remakes. And we're 4 years into this console.
Seems legit. Have you played Heavy Rain?
I have not.
Have they remade that?
I don't know.
Highly recommend.
Fair enough. I remember when it came out, and like I remember being like, "Oh, it's great," but
yep.
I don't made a remake. I'm not seeing anything about a remake.
Okay.
What else? I've also been playing lots of Marvel Snap, and this week, if people were listening last week, I was sitting kind of like rank 70, I think. I am now at rank 100, Infinity rank, so I'm at the top of the ladder. So woo! Exciting. I know I'm not sure what to do.
Well, no, now the real game begins, right?
Well,
Max
yeah.
rank.
I don't really care. So the problem is, I don't really care about grinding that number out because you don't really get any good rewards for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like just playing for the sake of playing.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to get up to the top. So I like goals that are realistic. So I'm just playing Conquest instead, which is like you have to win a match in a row to get the first ticket, and then you get 2 in a row to get the next ticket, and then 3 in a row, and then you essentially have to win, I think it's like 10 battles in a row, and then you win a bunch of another currency that you use to buy something. So that's what I'm doing just now, but it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
And the problem is that anytime you lose, you have to go all the way down to the beginning again and win 1 to get the next ticket, and then win 2 to get the next ticket. It's like,
could you pay a premium currency to not lose your space?
no.
Oh, that's a missed opportunity from them. They should do that.
Mm-hmm. So you can grind out the lower tickets. So that's what I'm doing just now, like grinding out as many of the silver tickets as I can, so that I don't have to keep going back down, and I can just like then grind out as many of the gold ones as possible. Mm-hmm. And then when I eventually win the gold one, then I can like try and grind that for the infinity one. I can't remember what it was. And I've been getting back into reading comics. So as happens every year, I resubscribed for a year of Marvel Unlimited and went, I should actually use this. And went and read a bunch of comics. So I'm reading through the Ms. Marvel comics just now.
Okay.
Because I really like Ms. Marvel. She's one of my favourite characters. And yeah, it's been good. I've just finished the Inhumans versus X-Men comics line, which was good. I enjoyed that. But what I find really funny is, as you're following stories, you come across characters that you're not actively following, but you know some about, but then because you've not been actively following them in the comics, their status is completely different from what you would expect it to be, right? Mm-hmm. And so you're like, I need to find out why. For example, why is Cyclops a child just now? Yep. And so you look into the reasons for why Cyclops is a child, and you find out that actually Cyclops went evil and died. And this is Cyclops from the past, who's now having to deal with the fact that he knows that he grows up to be evil and dies.
Yep. This is classic Marvel to me.
Yeah.
Because like I mean, it requires, it's no longer like standalone. Like it requires that you have seen everything. I remember going and seeing one of the most recent movies, like the Multiverse of Madness or whatever. And I was like, wait, why is Scarlet Witch bad? And wait, Vision's dead? And like, it was just like, yeah. Wait, what?
I mean, I think this is just one of these things where you just have to kind of, if you're not willing to do everything, you just kind of have to accept that sometimes you won't know the current state of things. And, you know, I would go into these things. I mean, I watch all of the Marvel stuff, like all the shows and films, because it's not really on the level of reading all the comics. Like reading all the comics is basically impossible.
Right.
Watching all the shows and TV series, the films and TV series, is not that difficult, right? Like if you have any sort of like time that you can do on a weekly basis, you can keep up to date reasonably easily if you want to.
No.
Well, like this year, for example, so far we have had 1 10-episode series and 1 film so far this year, and we're in September. So that's not an unreasonable amount to try and keep up to date if you care about it. And the TV series was like an animation anyway. It was unrelated to the current multiverse. You don't have to pay attention to it if you don't want to. There's 1 film. That's all there's been so far this year.
Yeah. No.
So,
wait, was the 1 film the Deadpool?
Yeah.
Okay. I did see that.
So I also enjoyed it. But yeah, so I think it's just kind of one of these things where you just have to accept if you're not willing to keep up with it. But what I find fun about it in the comics is it's like, oh, this is a really weird situation. I just stop reading the comic, go find out why this person is in this situation, and then come back. Because there's really good explanations for most things. Mm-hmm. And you learn more about other storylines that you're not going to go and read.
Yeah.
So...
No, my ADHD, I would be like, I want to know why this is the way it is. And then I'd read that and then be like, oh, because he went evil. And I'd be like, why did he do that? And then I'd go down that rabbit hole. And
that's one way to do it as well, you know, and it just like each their own, and maybe you decide that means that you don't read comics, and that's fine, you know, like,
yeah. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I am enjoying it. It's good fun. So, yeah, that's what we've been up to.
Woo!
All right, time for some game news. First of all, Tales of the Shire has been delayed till 2025.
Woo!
Yeah, they've not really said much about it other than, oh, we want to make the game better. The standard.
Yep.
Fine. But they announced that just after. It's interesting that they announced it just after the announcement for the announcement.
Yep.
But yeah, they announced that they are having a showcase on Hobbit Day, which is apparently a thing. Apparently it's been a thing for years. Hobbit Day, the 22nd of September, they will be announcing some, they'll be showing some more of the game.
Oh, I wonder why it's Hobbit. I thought it was because it was his birthday, but
It's the birthday of Bilbo and Frodo.
There we go. Makes sense.
Interesting. I didn't realise they had the same birthday. That's funny.
Yep. Woo!
Woo!
Delayed.
But yeah, we'll have some more news about that maybe in the next episode. It's the 22nd, which is the Sunday. I don't know if I want to wait till after that's been done. We'll see. I'll decide later. We'll see. We'll see.
It's fine. It's not going anywhere, clearly.
No, I know. But, this is our, up-to-date news podcast.
You know what we should totally do? Listeners, let me know if you think this would be funny. If ever there's anything like that where like we record or some news comes out after we record, you could have a section that's like the breaking news, and then you just like input that into the podcast, but you record it after the podcast.
So my hesitation on that is that involves like setting up another call to actually do the
Oh no, I'm just thinking like you either you do it or you're like, hey Cody, do a boop 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 breaking news about this news.
But I think the fun thing about this podcast is the discussions, not the news.
I mean, people listen to me ramble by myself. It happens. It's not unenjoyable, I guess.
Sugar Dew Island have announced that they are delayed until early 2025. Woo! I'm shocked about this one. I definitely didn't predict this one at all.
Nope.
So, I mean, they're using the excuse of a grant.
Yep.
Okay, fine. But presumably the grant means that you can do something for the game that you wanted to do for the game and have it in the release. So this was something you always want. I just feel like this team, they just keep expanding the scope of the game. Because they added loads of stretch goals in the Kickstarter campaign, and they were all things that just push out the release date. So
yep. These are
I wonder if this game will ever actually come out.
These are all things that could come out after the release.
Yep.
But I think it's cool that they got money from the state that they live in Germany. I think that's really cool. Like the government's getting involved. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if this is a thing in America or not, but I mean, it's a reasonably common thing over here, where most countries have like arts funds that they give out as grants to people.
No, it's sports funds over here. Sports all the way.
Oh, funny. See, if I go onto Kickstarter, every time I go onto Kickstarter, there's a little banner up at the top that says, I'm just loading it up. Of course, the banner doesn't appear the one time I actually talk about it. But literally every time I go onto Kickstarter, this banner appears, and it basically says something about there being, you can apply for Creative Scotland funding. So that's the one that's obviously in Scotland. So yeah, they all have, most countries certainly in Western Europe that I know of have similar sort of ideas where there's a certain amount of their budget that they'll put towards arts funding.
Yep. Nope. Nothing here. Though I think it's cool on the homepage of Kickstarter, there have been $8 billion put towards creative works. Wild.
Nice.
Look at us.
Yeah, and they've also confirmed that their Switch version is started.
Yep.
So they're started the porting.
It's happening.
Woo.
I think we need another delay, Al.
Well, next we have 2 Pixelia who've announced they're delayed till 2025. Woo!
Oh, so happy. Thank you. I needed that.
They are currently targeting March, April next year.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I like the wording there, right?
Yep.
It's like, it's not we're planning to release then, it's that's our target.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are I think people understand that difference in wording to make it like, oh, that's kind of a wibbly wobbly deadline sort of.
A little bit of a hand wavy deadline. I did love some of the reasons that they wanted to do it is they want to create quote customization options free from gender, which I like. Totally like that. I also like that they wanted to quote add more crime opportunities.
Be gay, do crime. That's
Be
what you're saying,
gay, do crime.
Was that just a really long way of getting to that phrase?
I actually had not even thought be gay, do crime. You said it, and I was like, oh my God. But yeah. Be gay, do crime.
Oh dear. Am I going to be brave enough to put that as the title for this episode?
Please. I'm going to add it in to mention it and everything.
Oh dear.
Too pixely. I think I've had it with delays though. So let's maybe.
Well, have I got an exciting update for you? GoGo Town have announced that their Build and Bustle update is technically not out right now, but it will be out by the time this episode comes out. I think it's out in like 3 or 4 hours as we're recording.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Which it's Monday in Australia, which is when they're releasing.
Oh yeah. If I remember correctly, some of the things they're adding are things that you thought they should add, right?
Yes. Yeah. So they are big things about this are that so it's called the Build and Bustle update.
Mm-hmm.
They have the ability to buy more land to expand the town, which is good.
Yep.
And they are again saying that you can customize the industry zones. We still don't have a huge amount of detail of that as far as I can see.
Mm-hmm.
They do talk about, I've seen something on their Twitter about moving the items within the zone, but I've not seen anything about moving the industry zone, which is, I mean, it could be. The one thing that makes me think that might not be what they're doing is because there are big things that are like part of the ground, right? Like there's a cave, which is the industry zone for the mining, and it's like, are they actually moving the cave? I guess we'll find out.
They
when it actually
discovered a
comes
new
out.
cave that looks exactly like the old cave.
And the first cave filled itself in.
Yep, the old cave. We just didn't like it anymore.
It just collapsed.
It collapsed.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe they're just going, it doesn't matter. Suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
The cave will move, which they can do. I just don't know if they're going to or not. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll get some details pretty quickly after it comes out. And the other big thing is they've added a subway system, so you can have up to 4 lines on your subway, which is cool. Yeah, I think that's cool, allowing people to get around the town more efficiently. Because this was a little bit of my worry is like, if you make it bigger, which it needs to be bigger, but if you make it bigger, do you have a problem where nobody gets to the outer bits? But hopefully this just means that some of them will like go to the stuff in the middle, and some of them will immediately jump on the subway and go to different parts of the town.
I guess, is the subway system like, do you see yourself riding it, or do you just be like, I want to go over here, and then it just like fades to black, and then you're like, yay, I'm over here now? Is it like a fast travel system?
So I haven't seen any video of it happening, but I have seen there are some screenshots of inside the subway station.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like you're at least kind of going into the subway, and I guess we'll see what that means.
I hope it's authentic in that one of the subway systems is really, really dirty and has a lot of graffiti, and then the central one is like pristine and clearly is the one that's actually...
Not everywhere is the same as America, Cody.
I hope it's Americally realistic. Americally being a new verb that I just
we
made.
have exactly one subway system in Scotland, and it is very nice.
It's not realistic.
It's the 3rd oldest subway in the world.
That
Fun
is
fact.
super cool.
Yeah. Do you know what 2 subways are older than it?
London Underground, maybe?
Mm-hmm. That's one of them.
Something in India.
Nope.
Okay, I don't know. I give up.
Not going to guess anymore?
I genuinely don't.
You guess.
I genuinely don't know what else there would be.
I'm pretty sure it was Bucharest, but I'm just double checking.
Oh, okay.
No, not Bucharest. I was wrong. Failed.
Though.
Budapest.
Oh, yep. Okay, that makes sense. Cool.
So, I was so close.
Well, I love
Same
how,
thing. Budapest, Bucharest.
I love how your guys is like more the OG than ours, but when people think of Subway, they think of our subway system.
Do they now?
I mean, if you ever see someone use a subway in any movie, it looks like
In American movies.
the Underworld movies, which I think they're supposed to be in Europe, have.
What's that, sorry? Underworld. It's an American film.
It's okay. It's an American film, but it's not supposed to be in America.
I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. American people make films that have American-looking things in them is not a surprise. Is it now?
Wes Craven is rolling over in his grave right now. Actually, I don't know if he's dead. Anyway.
They also are adding car parks and vehicle racks for all of your vehicles that you use, which is cool because, I mean, I was just like leaving them in the middle of the street. Like, I don't know what to do with this. It just goes there. So that's nice. And a bunch of new items.
What's the difference? Is a car park a parking lot?
So you have cars that are vehicles that you use and you have bikes that are vehicles that you use.
Okay.
So one presumably is like, a car park is like a parking lot, as you would call it. Yeah.
Cool.
So park for your car, and the vehicle racks will be for bikes and trikes and stuff like that.
Sweet.
So yeah, we'll see what that's like once it's out.
Maybe a 1.1. I guess it wouldn't be 1.1, but a second harvest.
Yeah, they're just calling it the Build and Bustle update, which is the major update 1. I don't know if they've got a version numbering scheme or not. I haven't looked.
Don't look. It's probably disappointing.
Probably.
Cool.
I'm looking.
No.
I mean, you know that I'm looking, right?
No. Don't look. Numbering schemes are awful.
I can't find it. You're lucky.
It's for the best.
You're saved this time.
It's for the best.
Yeah, it probably is. Steam seems to be really kind of unsure as to how it actually shows you version numbers.
Aren't we all? Version numbers are just...
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
No, he found it.
Minor update 5 was version number... Are you ready for this?
Oh my god.
0.4.53.16416 EA.
Oh, because early access. Right. Yikes.
So it's, I don't know why. So presumably this will be 0.5 because all of the minor updates have been 0.4 point something. So it'll be 0.5.0 point, and then the last bit is, I think, a build number, 16416 EA. So it'll be 0.5.0 point something. You don't need to put the build number in your version number that you publish, just letting you know. But fine, you can do what you want. I'm not in charge of you. Next, we have, for some reason, a new paid DLC for Harvest Moon Winds of Anthos.
It'll bring
the great
people
outdoors. The weird thing, I guess, is that like they've just released a new game and now they're releasing DLC for their console game rather than their mobile game. And I don't know. I
mean, I like the idea of this DLC.
Yeah, sure. So it's a camping one, basically. You can go out and, first of all, you can find treasure out and about. But you can also camp. So you can have a tent and camp wherever you are so you don't have to go home to sleep, which is cool.
I do like that a lot.
Yeah.
These games where you have to run all the way back home are really flippin' annoying.
Yeah. It doesn't make the game fun, but it does. It would be, in a game that actually is fun to play, this would be a nice addition.
The shade.
Look, if they want to make a game fun to play, I will say it's fun to play. Yeah. You can also take... So apparently they're also adding a new robot that will take care of your pets and animals while you're away. So that's cool. Yep. And then you can also take animals with you on your adventures. And I see there's a screenshot of you with a bear, like just sitting by a big brown bear.
Yep. They said
I don't think that's safe.
It's not. 100% do not condone sitting next to a bear ever. Mostly because then if something happens and if the bear attacks you, then it becomes the bear's problem, which is not great. Yeah, I like the idea. It also mentions that, like, depending on which pet, like, each pet has a different boost or, like, benefit of coming with you. No idea about the details of that, but maybe, like, it's like, oh, if you bring this dog with you, they might find something, or I don't know. But I think that's cool. And I just like the idea of not having to, like, end it. at your house. Because, like, what if you're in the mines and you just really want to be in the mines, but it's getting to that time of night, and you can just, like, go back to the entrance of the mines and just camp. And then when you like, start the day again, you're just at your camp. I like that.
I agree. The robot seems to be one that you put in your barn, and it will do all the kind of tasks that you want it to do, which is, I mean, good, but, you know, Stardew's had that for 6 years.
Yep.
So, yeah, cool. That is coming out on the 3rd of October, and it is $10.
Don't know if I'd pay that, but...
Also, I hope the robot isn't required to have the paid DLC. That's bad. Don't add quality of life improvements in DLC. Add content in DLC.
Yeah.
Bad, boo, don't do that. Next, we have the Lens Island controllers and Steam Deck update. Hey, Cody, can you guess what this brings?
I think that it brings gay crime. No, that's super cool. You've been wanting a Steam Deck compatibility, right?
Yes.
Are you going to start playing it now?
Well, no, at this point, I'm just going to wait for 1.0.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Which is meant to come out, this year.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, I'm waiting for 1.0.
They're still making progress. It's really cool.
Yes.
They also have said that now if you put a bed in the dungeon, this is very similar to what we were just talking about. If you put a bed in the dungeon and then you die in the dungeon, you actually respawn in the bed instead of like all the way back at your house, which is pretty neat.
Nice.
And then they also said that they fixed, apparently some of the enemies were targeting your bed and would damage your bed. And like break your bed.
Don't break my bed!
Honestly, kind of funny. Kind of wish that was still in there. Like, you put a bed down and then you got to protect your bed. I mean, because if I was an enemy and I saw someone lay a bed down, I'm tagging that bed down. You don't get to respawn there again. You got to go walk your butt all the way back to the beginning of the dungeon. No bed in the beginning. Yeah. But yeah, no. Yeah. So the enemies will no longer target your bed. You can respawn. They're really on it with these updates for this game, and just it has come so far, and I'm so excited to play it when it's at 1.0.
Yeah, maybe this should be my like December game.
There you go.
Maybe. We'll see. I mean, I already own it.
Yeah.
Right? So I just need the time.
Happy holidays to you.
Woo. So I think that I couldn't find this when I tried to look for it, but I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere that this was their last update before the 1.0.
Oh, okay.
But I couldn't find it when I tried to look for it. So maybe it was on Twitter or something, which I dare not speak the name of.
After speaking the name of.
Well, it's not the name of it, is it?
Oh, you're right.
Okay, and finally, we also have Danchi Days. So we mentioned this in the last episode. This is the kind of Game Boy inspired 2D Japanese summer game.
Mm-hmm.
They replied on YouTube to say that they have just launched their Steam page. So we'll have that as a link in the show notes for you. And there's a few more kind of screenshots and stuff like that. And the new information I get from this is they say the aim of the game is to invite 151 people to a summer festival.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
It's a lot of people who play Game Boy games and hear the number 151.
Yep. Coincidental number? I probably think not.
I don't think so. But it is cool. You you use the internet and the social media to try and understand what those 151 people like. They are actual people. I mean, some of them might not be people. You have a duck buddy. But
ducks are people too.
Oh, well, I'll be darned. So you use like social media and kind of like try and see what people like and make sure that they have it at the event and befriend them and invite them to the summer event. It's basically teaching people to be advertisers.
Yeah, and each of the different so you have different. The people you want to invite all have different websites because it's very much set in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everyone has to have their own website. And they all seem to have quite a lot of personality. So like there's someone who's an entrepreneur, and then there's someone who likes water, and then there's someone who's like, rules are meaningless, do whatever you want. And they just have 3 buttons to say do not press, and then you can press the buttons. So yeah, it looks like they're all kind of quite unique, which is fun. I suspect 151 of them won't be unique, but there's at least, some personality there, which is cool.
It did make me laugh, like, looking at it, because it says it's a Y2K inspired game. And that...
Oh, so it does, yeah. So not 90s, sorry.
Yeah.
2000. I was close.
That's late 90s. But yeah,
Don't do this, Code.
It made me laugh, like, to see that press any button you want, like, style thing, because that era was the era of, like, the impossible game online that you were supposed to do all these different things, and if you do one thing wrong, you're set back to the beginning, and it was just really silly things like hit the smallest circle and it's the dot on the eye and stuff like that. Or another game that was really popular at that time was Don't Shoot the Puppy. And it was literally, if you you start the game, and if you move your mouse at all, this giant machine gun shoots a puppy. So you literally just have to, like, click the button and then do nothing until you can click the button again.
Classic
Y2K game. So it captures the vibe.
We had one that we played in my school where we were, it was literally just a button that you press and it increases a number, kind of like the one in the thing.
Yeah, like Cookie
And so
Clicker.
we would, like, all be sitting, it was kind of like Cookie Clicker, but there was no, like, expansion to it. It was literally just one click. And so we would, like, try and play it, like, in our computing classes without the teacher noticing, and just see who could get the biggest number in one period. It was fun.
Back in our day, kids, you just clicked a button as many times as you could, and that was entertainment.
Or in the case of Don't Shoot the Puppy, didn't click a button.
Or didn't click a button, and you just watched this puppy. And in one of them, it was like one of the things that, like, brought up the button that was like start the level or whatever, and then you're like, oh, I forgot to click it, and then you move the thing, and then it shoots the puppy, and it's like, I didn't forget to click it. It just got me.
And then there was the stuff with like Weebles stuff.
No,
the
Weebles.
Cartoon, the Flash. Yeah. Classic. Anyway, we're going to stop being nostalgic here.
What?
That's all the news.
Woo!
We do have 3 new games as well to cover. Wow. First of all, we have Sea Sniffers.
Yep.
All right. Here we go. Sea Sniffers is a cozy diving game in which you explore the ocean with your trusty seal companion, encounter strange creatures and exotic treasures. I nearly said a different word than exotic. In sunken ships or hidden caves, discover the deep sea and all its secrets. And I need to do my usual, don't call your game cozy. You don't get to decide that.
Also, don't call your game cozy when that seal is throwing hands. That seal... like, to fight off people, but also to, like, harvest things, it just seems to punch.
It is an interesting level of cozy, I will say, in the, obviously a game doesn't have to be, like, 100% relaxing to count as cozy.
Yeah.
Because, Stardew, you have the mines and stuff like that, but it's like a storm where people are, like, shooting machine guns.
Yep.
I don't know, man.
It's as cozy as committing tax evasion or robbing a bank.
Wait, look, I have never tried to claim that this podcast is about cozy games. Not just because I hate the term, but just because it's not. It's about whatever I want to talk about.
Yeah, that's basically it. He said it, you guys.
Yeah, looks cool. I mean, it's basically Dave the Diver, right?
Yep, sure.
But you're a seal.
Yep. Well, you have a seal companion.
But you are, like, controlling the seal underwater.
Yes, it does seem like when you're under the water, you become the seal. You embody the seal, and you throw hands. It does look really, really derpy. It looks cute. Not going to play it. Cute game, though.
I'm not going to say I'm not going to play it. I'm going to add it to my wish list and probably never play it. Next, we have Garden Trills. Explore floating gardens as Tommy, a tiny sparrow. Grow magical plants, meet other birds, and get your wings dirty together to cultivate beautiful places for you to peacefully fly around and discover all their secrets.
To cultivate exotic places. I really like this game. I like how it looks. It looks really cute. Just looks, has full controller support already. It says on there with Xbox controllers. And I guess what I did not look at is if it is Mac. It is not. Boo.
Sad.
That's fine. I can come down here and play it. It's very cute though. It looks very cute. Like you and your other bird buddies like help collaboratively hold a watering can between you and water things. You get to pick, as the bird, you get to pick where you want to plant things. Throw tomatoes at bird boxes, assuming that you're feeding people, but maybe you're pranking someone. I don't know. Looks really cute though.
Yeah, it's cute. Here's a fun fact for you. Do you know why it's Xbox controllers that they specifically support?
Isn't Steam Microsoft? I don't know.
No. It is because the Steam Deck uses the same layout as an Xbox controller.
Well, I'm sure Microsoft is happy about that.
Yeah, probably. It does mean that I then have like 3 controllers that I'm regularly using because I use my Switch, which is different from my PlayStation, which is different from my Steam Deck.
Yep. Dude, I feel that. I also like going between games, like going between Disney Dreamlight Valley and Coral Island. They have different mechanics.
Yeah, every time.
And I'm just like...
This is why I can't do daily games, right? Because I just have to play a game until I'm done, because otherwise I just can't play it.
Because I'm like, why isn't my inventory sorting? Oh, it's because I'm using the wrong button combination.
Oh, yeah. The number of times when I went back into Coral Island, I accidentally put all of my bag into a chest. And then it's like, no, because now I have to get it all back into my bag in the right order, because it's never going to put it in the order that I want it in.
It never puts the sword by the pickaxe. That's how I want it.
Exactly. And I'm like, so there were multiple times where I was like, how long have I had in this day?
Yep.
It's like 10 a.m. That's fine. I'm setting the day. It's quicker to reset the day than it is to reorganize my bag.
Well, we have one more game to cover before we really dive into Coral Island.
Yes. So Garden Trails comes out in December this year. So the final new game is Pixel Cross Rune Factory. So like the Pixel Cross Story of Seasons, this is a Picross style game, and it's in the theme of Rune Factory rather than Story of Seasons this time. So,
yep,
the Story of Seasons one was good. It looks like in the background of the Story of Seasons one, you had a farm that kind of built itself up in the background over the days as you played. It looks like it's battles in the background this time, because I'm just seeing like battles. So yeah, it's cool. Yep. I'm sure it'll be fun, just like the other one.
Sure. I'm not going to say that, but I trust you.
Are you not a Picross person?
I'm a Picross person, but I am not a Rune Factory human. I also play Picross on my phone, not on a console.
Fair. Phone is a good place to play it.
Yep.
I accept that.
Yep.
All right, so that's all the news.
Woo.
So we're now going to talk about Coral Island 1.1.
Woo.
So... When I say that, I say we're going to talk about it in theory, but I will say the most of the update we haven't actually played.
Correct.
Now for Codey, that's because they are very far back in the game, right?
Yep.
Did you play it properly before you got into it for this update?
Kind of. I played it very I think I was in summer. There was just a lot. I think I hit the end of the diving, and I hit the end of there wasn't anything else to do with the mermaids. And I was like, oh, this game's not finished yet. Set it down. Walk away. So,
fair.
So when I picked it up this time, I didn't start over or anything. I just started back from where I was. And so I started in the beginning / middle part of, summer, and now I'm in the middle of winter.
Cool. So that's why you've played almost none of the features.
Correct.
The reason I've played almost none of the features is because most of the features require you to be town rank A.
Yep.
And somehow, despite having 100 hours in this game and being in year 4, I am still town rank C. I'm not even town rank B.
Get better, noob.
This is the thing, I have millions of money. Millions. I can buy anything. I don't have to do anything on my farm. I have it completely automated. At the beginning of a season, I just have to buy seeds, throw them into my seed things, and then every so often I check to see what it is harvested, right? Like, I do literally nothing. I do not sow any seeds. I do not sow any fertilizer. I do not water anything. I don't even harvest. Like, I can literally do one day every season. That's all I need to do, right? One day every season, you buy the seeds, you put them in the seed dispenser, and you take the stuff out the harvested. Right? But somehow I'm still down rank C. And it turns out it's because there are a lot of fish in this game. And I don't like the fishing in this game.
There's no automating it.
There's no automating it, And it's not because the fishing, like, the actual fishing minigame is fine, right? Like, I don't have an issue with the fishing minigame. I just find it really difficult to find the right fish. Like, I spent an entire day yesterday fishing in a spot where salmon is available all day long, and I didn't get a single salmon.
I fished up like 5 salmon the other day.
Can I have a salmon, please?
I would love to give you a salmon.
It's so frustrating, just the RNG on fishing. And on top of that, I find the insects really frustrating. Because they're so hard to find. Because it's like, oh, it only spawns in this one area at this time of the day on this weather. But the problem is you go there and it's not there. There's a different one. And then you have to wait till the next in-game day to try and find it again.
Do you not, if you catch what's there, it'll respawn something new?
I haven't found that.
Oh. Well,
like, I feel like every time I go back, that's it. I've just, like, I don't know if I'm not going far enough away or, like, I need to go in a building or something, but, like, I never come back to seeing more insects.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely, like, a timed thing because I was trying to catch, Atlas moths are so flippin' hard, dude. They're so fast. And so I was doing rounds for Atlas moths in the forest. But I did finally get one. But yeah, you just have to, like, kind of, I think, like you said, go pretty far away or give it some time, and things will respawn where they are. Another thing, are you putting out any of the traps?
Yeah, I just keep getting the same stuff.
Yep. That is an issue. That is a yes. And then, do you use fish bait?
No.
Okay, that would probably help you with the salmon.
I tell you what, I also found out recently. Like, literally yesterday I found out that you can upgrade the fishing rod.
Yes.
But I didn't know this because it's not at the same place you upgrade the other tools.
Yep.
It's at a random restaurant on the beach.
Yep.
You go to a restaurant on the beach to upgrade both your fishing rod and your catching net.
Yep.
Why are they upgrading? They're a restaurant. Why are they upgrading my fishing rod and net?
I just realized that recently as well. I don't know if they added this in 1.1 or if this was always there.
I don't think this was a 1.1 thing. I don't think it was. It might have been a 1.0 thing. Because I feel like it definitely didn't exist the first time I played.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that it was there, and so I always was just like, oh, these never get better. But they do. You can upgrade them. You use kelp essence for it. And
which I have hundreds of.
Yeah, I have a lot of.
That is not a problem for me.
For me, it's the money. I still am not in the tycoon era that you are in. So
much. I sow 2,000 seeds at a time. Nope. That's how much I have.
Yep.
Like it's so automated. I love it. It's great.
Yep. So yeah, I think the catching is a big thing, and this is of the 1.1 features. They all have a threshold to access them that is a little difficult to achieve. So one of them, there are attractions that are supposed to bring in more people to your town and maybe like increase your rank further, and they give you some interactions, other events or something with the townies, so you get to increase their levels by attracting tourists. But yeah, you have to reach rank A, and I think I'm also at C. I'm
nearly at B. I'm like 50 points away from B. Nice. I'm so close.
It's attainable, but it is difficult. You have to put a lot of time into it to be able to become rank A. And even if, like you're saying, even if you're the master of farming, like that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be at rank A. It's pretty evenly rated.
But it just feels weird as well, because like I have, let me just double check the exact number, because I don't feel like, obviously I still have a lot of stuff to do, but it feels like I should be further along with how much I have in the museum. I have a lot in the museum. And just for the record, I have like my ocean rating is A.
Yeah.
Right? Like before 1.1, I'd done everything you could possibly do in the ocean.
Yep, mine is also A.
So I have 212 things in the museum.
I have like 240.
But I feel like it feels like a lot of things.
No.
Come on.
There's definitely more. I'm
not saying there isn't, but like if you look at my rocks one is almost complete, right? I think I'm missing 3 rocks or
fossils?
Gems, whatever you call them. Fossils, yeah, I'm probably not amazing on the fossils. But then if I go to like the artifacts bit, again, I'm only missing like 3 or something. So yeah, I think it is just like insects, fish, and fossils.
Do you have the computer?
I do.
Okay. Because that's another thing I'm trying to get right now. The computer has attachments to has attachments that tell you where fish are, what fish are available, and I think where.
It's basically just an in-game wiki.
Yeah.
Which it's fine, but the problem is I actually find the wiki more helpful.
Okay.
Because you can have it up at the same time as you're out fishing, right?
Yeah.
But you can't have the computer. You can only just view the computer and then you go away from the computer, right? So you have to remember what you saw on it. So I don't find it particularly helpful.
Okay.
And also, like, it predicts what insects are going to be where, but it's half the time it's wrong. So it's just like, I think it's just telling you the possibilities. It like shows you one item, with like one insect to each place you can go.
Yeah.
And half the time it's wrong. So I think it's like just giving you one of the possible options, but then it doesn't always end up being that. Whereas the fish, it gives you more information. It's right. It's like, oh, in the morning these 4 fish are available, in the evening these 4 fish are available, whatever. I just went into my aquarium in the museum and it feels quite full. Like, I know it's not, but it doesn't feel empty.
So I, like, in the first season, like, I had put maybe like 10 things in there or whatever, like in like butterflies and whatever, and it populates multiple of the same species, so that it looks very full. You can look in your, what is it called, your journal maybe, to see what you
I know
caught
I can do that.
see how many like empties there are.
I know I can do that. It's more just a case of like, I guess I was just surprised when I looked at how much I have in the museum and how the museum feels pretty full, how I can then go to the town hall, look at my rank and be like, that seems low. Like I've finished, like I've done most of the ocean stuff. I've done most of the, like I got rid of the evil people. I have most of the gems and most of the artifacts. Yeah, sure, I've not got all the fish, but it feels like a minor thing. And I'm sitting at rank C. Like that feels harsh.
Yeah.
And it's like you get like 5 points for a fish putting it into the museum.
Yeah.
It's just it feels frustratingly slow, I guess, is the point, right?
Yeah.
Like, whereas because things in Stardew are based on the amount of time you've been in the game, right? So things unlock in year 2, things unlock in year 3, things unlock in year 4.
Yeah.
Rather than unlocking based on your progress. It feels like if you play the game a lot, even if you're not playing the game perfectly, you unlock things much quicker. Whereas here, you have to like min-max the game to unlock everything.
Yeah, I feel that way for sure. So that is why we have not done the attractions yet. The next thing is the savannah. Did you make it to the savannah, Al?
So I didn't make it to the savannah either. And can you guess why that is?
Because in order to get to the savannah, you have to have completed 18 of the not donations, but the like Lake Temple not sacrifice either, but you know what I mean.
I think they are. Yeah, I can't remember the word they use.
But yeah,
doesn't matter.
You have to complete 18 of them. Each of them have 6 that you can do. So there's a total of 24. So you would only be able to be missing 6. But a lot of them, it's like rare cooking, rare artisan, rare fish, like things like that. And a lot of them are really difficult to find and really difficult to get. There's also often not an explanation for the recipes for some of these things. So
you gotta Google
it. Or
so I have all of the first 6, right? Mm-hmm. So the like farming ones, I have all of them because I just did them in my first year, right? Because I'm like, well, I'm used to this from Stardew, right? This is easy. And I've got all of the third one, all 6 of the third one, they're all done.
Yep, that's the
fourth one.
And,
and there's some reasonably difficult stuff to get in there, but I've got it all because I'm in year 4, right? Like I've got most of the stuff that matters. Mm-hmm. The fourth one is like the really hard stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think I've maybe got like 2 of them or something. So what's 6, 12, 13, 14? Yeah, I think I've got 2 of them. But the other ones are like I'm missing 1 or 2 items, which annoyingly are things that you can only get from town rank A.
I didn't know that. Oh my gosh. Yep. Wild.
So that's why I haven't completed them. So then what's left, Codey?
The fishing and the insect
Fishing! Fishing! I have 1 of the animals, one of the fishing, and like that's it. I'm at 15, I need 3 more.
What?
And so I'm trying to grind out those fish again.
And one of those fish ones, so I did the classic thing where, I don't remember if I said this on the pod or not, where I wrote down everything that you need, like on a notebook that I have in front of me at all times. And I'm like, okay, I need this fish, and this fish comes out during this weather, during this season, during this time, whatever. One of the fish only comes out for the first 7 days of fall. So you can't finish that unless you catch it in that time frame.
I feel like, so offering, they call them offering.
Aha! There we go.
So I've caught, looking at the journal, I've caught about 1/3 of all the fish, right? So, I mean, it's not a huge amount, but it's not nothing, right? Correct. But almost none of them are ones that I can offer. So if I actually look through the ones that I've caught, 3 of them are in offerings.
Okay.
I've caught 1/3 of the fish, and only 3 of them are offerings ones. And it's insects. I've caught more than half of them. And it's I think 7 of them are offerings. So I think that they feel, with Stardew, the kind of the bundles, I feel like you just kind of naturally get them as you do everything, and it feels like you're kind of building them up. Even the fish one, it feels like you're building up, whereas here it feels like almost none of the fish actually matter, right? There's only like 10 fish that matter, and they're the most annoying, difficult ones to get.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I'm constantly fishing. I'm constantly getting the same fish that I've already caught, even though there are fish I know at this time and in this place that I can be catching. Now, sure, maybe I should be using the bait. I don't care.
The bait, all the bait does is, so there's different size bait, and the bait just attracts fish of different size. So if you have medium bait, that means fish that are in the quote-unquote medium fish category are more likely to get caught. So
it can help you narrow down if you've got specific fish you're trying to catch, right? Fine, great, fantastic. It just feels like you spend days fishing and getting no progress for it.
Yeah, I get that.
Neither in the museum nor in the offerings.
Yeah. Well, behind door number 1, the Savannah, there is another temple there.
Yes. Let's actually talk about it, because like we haven't played it, but we can talk about it. So yeah, it's cool in a concept, right? So yeah, do you want to talk about the Cave of Memories then?
So I don't know a ton about all of it. All I really know is that there is another thing that you can donate. Is that in the Cave of Memories? Is that what that is?
That's what that is, yeah.
Got it. I'm looking at it now. Quote, Cave of Memories is a cavern-like cave that is located in the northwestern part of the savannah. In the cave, the player will be tasked to collect Gort's memory fragments for the quest, The Final Giant. Oh, so this is how you finish the Giant's quest. Yeah. You can also find geodes.
Yeah. So have you unlocked the other giants?
The fire one, yeah. So I am on the Final Giant, and it says go to the savannah, and I'm like,
so you've already got that one.
I would love to go to the savannah.
yeah. I'm trying. I'm really trying to get to the savannah. Thank you.
Promise you, I'm trying to go to the savannah. Yeah, and so there, it looks like you're you will be tasked to collect Gort's memory fragments. I'm assuming that's what, like, the artifacts. So you can donate artifacts to him. Because now whenever I find an artifact, some of them have this, like, offered, like, that's unbolded or whatever. Like, it can be offered, but it's not offered to the Lake Temple. It's offered.
Yeah.
And I found out it was in the savannah. But yeah, I can't do it. So he's, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's basically just the continuation of the story, the finishing of the giant story, which I would love to know, and I'll get there eventually. But the other thing this savannah gives you is you've got 2 more animals. You've got the ostrich and the buffalo. So, yeah.
It also says that there's more furniture, but I don't know.
What do I look like, a furniture person? Cool. Enjoy your furniture.
Ben has oh, wait, yeah. Okay, yep. So that's the savannah.
Yeah, sure wish we could have played it.
That would have been cool. I mean, I will still make it. I will say, I know we're not done with this section or not, but I'm going to continue playing this game, even though there is a big old question mark about, like a big old, like, roadblock frustration of, like, having to do all these things. I am still enjoying it. Underwater farming. Did you make it to that?
No.
Okay.
Purely because, like, I've looked at it and realistically, it's just farming, right? Like, it's not fundamentally different from farming. Yeah, sure. Instead of watering, you, like, use a little light stick and you light it, but it's essentially the same thing. And it's different crops and stuff, and it's a cool idea. But yeah, no, I didn't want to focus on trying to get to that because I know how that works, whereas I actually wanted to try and get to turn rank A, and I failed. So I've had the thing. I think you have to go on the Starlit cruise first. Which I've been invited to. I've just not done yet. So, like, I completed everything pre 1.1, and after a few days of 1.1, I got this invitation to go on a cruise with them underwater, and I believe that's how you unlock the other stuff, like the farming.
Okay. I have not made it there yet. Now that I'm a friend of the mermaids or whatever, they want me to give them 5 osmium kelp essences, which I got them for you, man. I could give you 20. I could give you so many. I have so many of those. But what I don't have is 5 osmium crops from, like, the land. I don't have my farming up that level yet. And so I don't have those to give. And so I don't... I have not unlocked that aspect of everything, which is really sad because I wanted to do more stuff in the Mer Kingdom. I want to see if I can get it. Can you get a tattoo from Ricey? However you say her name.
I haven't seen. I mean, you can get a mermaid tail, so that's something.
Hopefully, you move faster when you have that tail.
Oh, you do. You're super fast. It's fantastic. I haven't gotten there yet. I love it. I love it. It's fantastic. I was actually wrong. There is one other thing I need to do to unlock the underwater farm. Can you guess what it is?
Probably fishing.
It's turn rank A.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's always either fishing or turn rank A.
Which is indirectly fishing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just want... Because there's a lot of places in the Mermaid Kingdom... Like, they're all like, wow, you're our friend. Thank you so much for, like, helping us with this. And every time you talk to them, they're like, wow, I'm so thankful. Thank you. But they won't let me in their buildings. It's because I don't have 5 osmium crops yet. So I'm trying to increase my farming to get that. But it's one of those things that, like, you only get experience, like, farming experience or whatever when you're either hoeing the ground or harvesting. And it takes a hot minute for things to be harvested because they have to grow. So, waiting. So I have not done that yet. There are cool... there's also underwater ranching, and there are different organisms that you can ranch underwater, and they give things like pearls. So it's just a whole new class of organisms things to sell.
Yes.
Another thing that was added to 1.1, we've got 2 more. You guys are almost done. Spouse interactions, hugging and kissing and gifts. Have you experienced this?
So yes, I have, because I am married in game, and let me tell you, it doesn't really change much. So my spouse still feels like a husk of a human being. It just means that I can go up and I can hug and kiss them once a day, and then occasionally they'll have, like, a little exclamation mark above their head, and you can accept the gift. like it's not really. Yeah, it doesn't. No, they still just stand in next to the bed and do nothing. It's not what I'm looking for. Is it an improvement? Technically, yes, but it doesn't feel good still.
Yeah.
You know, I still feel like I've stolen her life from her.
The pets, I will say I had a similar feeling about the pet. I do not have a spouse yet, so have not experienced this. I will say that the pets now go outside. They leave their beds. They go outside and walk around. They're very cute. You can also have more pets now, so you can get 3 regular pets and 1 mythical pet.
Finally.
Not entirely
Remember
sure.
that time I bought 10 pet beds and then found out I couldn't buy any more pets.
Yeah, I have 3 pet beds. I bought 3 pet beds for the house, and then I bought one of the outdoor beds. But for some reason, it won't let me buy another pet. And I only have the Aussie dog, which I named Stella, and then I got the bearded dragon, which I named Addie, because I have an Aussie and a bearded dragon.
Could it be a town rank thing?
It could, and I'm only at sea, so that's a possibility. But it is cool that they go outside. They kind of wander around your farm, so you get to see them out and about, which feels better than them just sitting in their beds all day. I sure hope your spouse gets to leave the house.
Maybe that's 1.2. Who knows?
The last thing that we're going to feature about 1.1 that we were going to talk about is the Hangouts. Have you experienced the Hangouts?
Yeah, so they're fine. So I did one with my spouse, and I did one with like another friend and stuff, and yeah, they're cool. They're little kind of like cutscenes essentially, where you go and do a specific. You've got like a list of things that you can do, and you say, "Let's go do this one." They're cool. They add a little bit of kind of character to the person, and it actually got my spouse out the house, so that's something. Yeah, they're fun. They're fun. There's not something that I'm going to do often.
Yeah.
I think they add on. They gain friendship.
Yeah.
With the person, so you know they're useful. But at this point, like I'm married in game. I don't really care about progressing friendship with other people at this point. Maybe I will do if I get to the point where I've nearly completed all the achievements, and that's one of the few remaining, like I did with Stardew Valley. Who knows? But yeah, they're nice. They're fun. A nice new way. Like I would have used it much more before I got married, but I got married before 1.1, so
yeah, I'm using it.
Bit late.
I'm currently wooing Scott, Raj, Kenny, and Pablo. So I use it to go talk to each of them.
Is that not just all of the male cat?
No.
Oh, Raj is non-binary.
Yeah, Raj is non-binary, and there are a few other ones that I'm not interested in. It
was just such a long list.
So I like Scott because he's the museum guy. Like, I'm a scientist. He's
of course.
a scientist, whatever. He also reminds me of my human partner in the real, so interested in that. Raj is a non-binary coffee shop owner. I work at a coffee shop, and I'm queer, so you got me. Pablo, I just kept seeing him, and he kept being so sweet. And I think there was a cutscene, because it says that he's a bit of a flirt. And there was a cutscene where he flirted a little bit with me as I just was talking to him as I went to the blacksmith. And I was like, okay. And so he's joined the ranks of the potentials. Some of them have fallen. So I had one of the, not Alice.
The list was longer.
Yes. So I also had Alice, I believe, whatever twin has the purple hair and has a child. That one.
I think that's Alice.
She was on my list. But I tried to give her a bug, and she was like, "No, thank you." And I was like, "Well, you're gone. Never mind."
Oh, it's not Alice. It's Suki.
I was going to say, I think it's Suki, but so I'm
she
not.
Doesn't like bugs.
She doesn't like bugs.
Oh no,
so I'm not interested in her
disaster.
anymore. And then Kenny, I just saw him one day. He was playing music for the animals, and I was like, "This is so sweet. I want to give this guy some cheese." So I brought him some cheese, and then he was like, "Oh, thank you, but I don't eat animal products." And I was like, "Oh my God, I love you." So now he's in the running. He's not gonna win. It's gonna be 100%. It's gonna be between Scott and Raj. We'll see who wins. I'm not entirely sure at this point. So yeah, I've been hanging out with all 4 of those people. You can do it similar to giving them gifts. You can only do it twice a week. So it's nice because I get to, like rotate them. Do one a day and maybe one day do two. Just kind of play the field a little bit, But yeah, I also have gained an appreciation of Eleanor, who is the older woman who works in the museum with Scott. She kept... I would just go talk to her anytime I went to go talk to Scott. I'm like, well, she's right here. I'll talk to her too. And at one point she said that she had discovered a new ant species. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so I brought her an insect and she was like, how did you know I would love this? So now every time I see her, I give her an insect and she is, I connect with her. So I
think she's the only person that likes the insects.
Yeah, none of the guys.
Even Scott.
Yeah, no one likes insects other than
failure.
It's
Eleanor. Just Eleanor.
Well, and that's the thing is I dropped Suki before I realized that no one likes insects, and then I was like, oh, well, too bad. That bridge is burned. Even though she doesn't care, I could probably just go talk to her again. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I try and give Eleanor everything, and I'm gonna try and increase my friendship with her, and I'm so excited to get to hang out with her at the museum. But I think you have to be at friend level 3 before you can start hanging out with people. And you can hang out, right, I think, with anyone, or maybe it's only the dateable.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's just the dateables. I think it's anyone.
But there are some like hangout options. Because even it's like hang out at the cafe and there's like...
some of them are more romantic than others, I think.
Yeah, but there's also some, like one of them's hang out in the ranching area and it's like either go fishing or pet the animals or like there's different things you can do. It's not just one thing. And then there are some that are locked behind like, oh, this only works if you're at like 7 hearts with a romanceable character.
So I just double checked. So there's normal hangouts and there's date hangouts.
There we go.
And they're probably pretty obvious, the difference. Yeah, so it's just, and it's, as far as I can see, it's just the romanceable ones you can date. But I don't see any difference in the level of friendship between them. I think it's just if they're high enough level, you can do
the date one.
Either normal or both. Yeah. If they're a romanceable one.
So... But I really like the Hangouts feature because that is one thing that I think has been missing is the ability to just like go hang out with a character. And it tells you how many hours of in-game time it's going to take. And you just see you and that character walking around laughing and like, looking in the museum, looking at all the different exhibits, being surprised by something. It's cool to think about instead of just coming up to these people and being like, hi, here's a gift, goodbye. You actually have a meaningful like time with the character.
Yeah. What I really like about it as well is, so first of all, the list of non-date hangouts, the normal hangouts, is longer than the date hangout list. Yep. So they it's not like, oh, it's a romance thing, but also I guess we should put some other ones in, right? Like there's a lot of friend-based ones, which is cool because a lot of these games are just like, oh, it's all about the romance and they don't care about anything else. So that's cool. And the other things are there's quite a selection of them, both in terms of like different things, but also in how much they cost, including a bunch that are free. Mm-hmm. So I think that's cool. Like quite a wide variety of diversity in hangouts and dates.
Well, and I think that's the thing is like one of them is like go play chess somewhere and it's free. Or go get a taco and it's $20 because you're going to spend money at the taco truck. Like, so
or you can do like $350 for the romantic dinner. Yeah. Or the hot air balloon ride, stuff like that. Yeah,
like you're going to pay for things like that, but some of them are just walk through the forest.
There's capybara feeding. I haven't done that yet.
Oh, where's?
That's in the bamboo forest.
Oh, I haven't gone there yet. How do you unlock it?
Unlock the bamboo forest?
Yeah.
10 things at the Lake Temple.
Ugh, okay.
So you'll get there.
Yeah, one day. Did you have anything else to talk about with 1.1?
I don't think so. I don't think so, and then continue to talk. Nothing specific about the features. Yeah. The other thing I do want to just talk about is and Stardew has done the same thing, right? Where some of the updates are endgame stuff and some of the updates are things that happen throughout, and that's fine. I think I wish I'd kind of gotten further in the game before this. I wish I'd done more fishing, because it would have been nice to be able to do more of this stuff quicker, because I guess part of the problem is I put the game down because I was like, I feel I've done everything in the game that I care about. Yeah, sure, I've not finished all the fishing, but that's what... And for all of these things to be locked behind Town Rank A just feels like I have to grind through something I'm not enjoying to get to the other things that I might enjoy. And that doesn't feel great.
I do remember that being a complaint that we had when the game first came out, that like you can't just do one part. Like you can't just focus on the diving or whatever, because there's part of the diving that to upgrade some of your stuff you have to get ore, so you have to go to the mines, but then to get to the, like, to survive the mines you have to have food, and it's just like it kind of like forces you to do all of the components of the game, which makes sense. But I think one thing that would be cool is if it wasn't rank A, if it was just rank B, like lower that threshold.
I get why they do this, but I really like in Stardew how you can go, you know what, I've done this style of game, let me do that. I just have a lot of money and I spend money on to unlock everything, right? And that's what you do if you run the Joja route. Now, I know that people are like, well, don't do the... It's a different way of playing, and I don't think it should be people's default, but it is fun to do. And I would have really loved to have just gone, you know what, can I just buy my way to Town Rank A? Like that, it's nice as an option. Not the default, sure, but a way to be able to do, like, yeah, sure, I might need to put fish in the museum, but why do I have to fish them up myself? I have a lot of money, Like, let's not pretend like this isn't a capitalist game. It is a capitalist game, and a lot of, it's about, creating a nicer world within the system that exists, right? Like, it's not about necessarily just enriching yourself, but like, let's not pretend if I was in this town and I had $10 million, I would not be fishing. I would be paying someone else to fish to put in the museum, right? Let's not have any two ways about it. I, as a multimillionaire, would not be doing that. So, like, you can be like, oh, well, it's this way of playing. That's fine. Yep. But it's the frustration is that you have to do it that way. Whereas, in Stardew Valley, there's ways to get around almost everything.
Yeah.
Which is I like. So if you're not a huge fan of this, you don't have to.
Yeah.
So that's my frustration.
Yep. Well, I have a frustration to air, if I may.
Yes, go complain about it.
Xbox Cloud Gaming is the worst thing. So I legitimately was playing for like one day, one in-game day the other day, and I got disconnected 6 times within a 30-minute time in-game time period. And sometimes you get disconnected. It's just like, you were disconnected and you just have to reconnect. And so you hit the reconnect button and then it like starts up cloud gaming again, and then it just comes back and it's like you paused the game. Totally fine. But there are also times when it's like, you're disconnected, and then you start the game back up, and then it starts the, welcome screen. This happened during the Harvest Festival, after I had completed all of the things, and I was about to start the Harvest Festival. And I did look it up. That is a bug, but it was apparently a bug that was supposed to be fixed. So I don't know if it was that, or if it was just that I lost service, or what, but cloud gaming sucks. The game is not available on just Xbox in general. Like, I can't buy it to just play it, because I was like, screw this. I'm just gonna buy it. I'm literally just gonna spend however much it is. I'm just gonna buy it because I do enjoy the game. I do want to play it and continue to play it, but it is not available for purchase on Xbox. You literally have to play it through cloud gaming.
That's weird.
Yes, you have to play it through cloud gaming.
And you can't even download it on the Xbox?
Nope, I don't think so.
So what Xbox do you have?
I have an Xbox One.
Ah, that's what it is then. You can purchase it and you can download it with Game Pass on the Series X or Series S, but I don't think all games.
Okay. I
think you can with some on Game Pass on the One. You can confirm if there's anything you've managed to download that way, but yeah, I think it's basically they don't have to support that console, but if they don't support the console, it works through cloud gaming.
Yeah.
which will be why. So, yeah, if you wanted to buy it, you'd have to get a Series S.
Yep. Yeah, someone said, I'm looking it up. It says, can't download it and play it locally, but you can play it through cloud gaming. And I'm not, why? If I can play it through cloud gaming, why can I not?
Well, do you want the reason? Do you want the technical reason or not?
No, I'm just mad.
Yeah. I see that's frustrating, but the alternative would either be it would never support the One, right? Because they're never going to put in the effort to make it support the Xbox One.
Right.
So the alternative would be you just couldn't play it because it wouldn't be on cloud gaming.
But it's also
it's rubbish. I'm not trying to justify it.
Right.
Yeah,
I also don't think so. Say I do. I'm not gonna do this. Say I do buy an X or an S. I think I'd have to start from scratch. I don't think the save would transfer. I don't think the save is going to transfer to anything. So I'm just going to keep struggling, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
But yeah, don't like that. Don't like that, they have the compatibility to play on One, but not to have it be on. So that was my rant. I guess the rant would be if you have an Xbox One and you are thinking about playing this game and that is the only way that you are thinking about playing this game, don't. Wait until it comes out for Switch.
Yeah, you have to have super really good internet and be physically close to one of the cloud gaming servers for it to work really well.
Yeah,
and even then, it's still not I had a pretty good experience with it playing Dreamlight Valley on my Steam Deck.
Yeah.
But it's still not. You can tell you're not playing it locally, and it's just a little bit. It just it's uncanny valley.
Yeah.
It's just very slightly slower than you would want it to be, but you're not noticing it being slow. It's just your brain has a hard time with it.
Yep. I also play Dreamlight Valley on that, but it disconnects a lot more rarely.
Right. Okay.
And so I just ugh. So yeah, I wish that it was not the way that it is. But if it comes to Steam, I will start over. I will start the game over.
It is on Steam.
Sorry.
Oh, Switch. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a big old question mark because of all of the stuff. So we'll see what happens. But it's an amazing game. I love it. I don't play games on this computer that's down here anymore because it's out of sight, out of mind. Maybe when this computer gets moved back up to upstairs and not in my basement, better.
Yep. I mean, I still really like this game as well. I'm not trying to claim it's better than Stardew now. But
you've rolled that back.
Yeah, I mean, it's still one of the best, right? It's still really good. And if you don't like Stardew's graphics, right? If you're not a huge pixel art fan, which there are some people out there, you want some more modern graphics, that's fine. This is a really good alternative.
Yep.
It is super fun. They really do care about a lot of things. It's not perfect, but they're still working on it. Yep. And hopefully they'll improve some more things. And yeah, you just got to push past the do all of the things, right? I just kind of ignored fishing for ages. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Because then you'll end up in year 4 as town rank C with no fish.
Yeah.
So fish as you go.
Yeah.
Fish as you go.
For sure.
Cool. Well, thank you, Codey, for joining me to talk about Coral Island 1.1.
Yeah, maybe one day we will actually have played a lot of the stuff. Been able to access all these things once we're past town rank A and done all the cool stuff so that we can actually talk about 1.1 from experience. But it was really fun, and I'm going to continue playing it and still curse out cloud gaming and curse its name to the skies. But yeah, thanks for having me.
I hope to come back to it again at some point, but I'm not about to play it tomorrow. Yeah. Let's put it that way. I've got Astrobot to play. Cool. Where can people find you on the internet?
I am at Hiking Beagle, Beagle, on Instagram. And that's about it because we don't mention the other one. You can also find me on the Slack.
Why did you make your name into a page?
I don't know how I did that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I deleted it.
In trash. Oh no. My Instagram handle is officially trash, according to Al.
Just going to let it happen. You can find me at the Scottbot on mastodon.scot and the site that shall not be named. You can find the podcast on Tumblr and the site that shall not be named at thspod. You can send us feedback on our website, harvestseason.club. Send us feedback.
Let me know if you... I'm trying to scroll up to see if there's anything. What did we talk about? If you are gay...
What game you want to be delayed till 2025?
If you want to be gay and do crimes. If you want...
But do not detail what your crimes are to us.
No, we don't care. But...
well, it's not just we don't care. It's just never put them in writing.
Yeah, don't we heard nothing.
Don't write down your crimes.
Don't write down your crimes.
Rookie error.
And the real... Oh, there went my furnace. The real thing is if you want us to do the boop, 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 boop thing.
Sure. I mean, just because people want me to do something doesn't mean I'm going to do it. You can also find on our website links to everything, including our Patreon, patreon.com/thspod, where you can access our Slack and get access to our backlog of Greenhouse episodes, which I should probably do some soon.
Let us know what you want to be in a greenhouse.
It's been a long summer.
It really has.
It's been a long summer. I think that's everything. Thank you, Codey, again for joining me.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, listeners, for listening. And until next time,
have a good harvest.
The Harvest Season is created by Al McKinley, with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode.
You will be happy to know that my furnace is going away in the next month.